Andrew Carnegie's father sang "To the West, to the West" to his son as they sailed over 7 weeks from dire times in Scotland to New York and on to Pennsylvania. Eager to help the family's financial situation, 13-year-old Andrew quickly advanced from cotton mill worker to messenger to telegraph operator to a prominent railroad manager by age 24. Tireless, innovative, and a keen investor at the peak of the industrial age, Andrew Carnegie will become the wealthiest self-made man of all time. But the man who dies thus rich dies disgraced, reasoned Carnegie, who also pioneered modern philanthropy by donating nearly his entire fortune to establishing institutions for peace, education, culture, science, and the arts. Deeply inspired by heroic acts at a devastating coal mine explosion in 1904, Carnegie would immediately create the Hero Fund Commission.
It was such an extraordinary idea that Grandpa Nagy, my great-grandfather Andrew Carnegie, had.
We're here over 100 years after our founding because Andrew Carnegie recognized a constant in the human character, which was the potential for heroic action.
This is one of the cases that I did that the board's looking at. She was going to jump off a bridge over the Hood Canal. As she jumped, he was able to grab a hold of her arms.
It's meaningful work, and I think I could probably speak on behalf of all of the members of the staff at the Commission that it's very much taken to heart with those two sole purposes in mind established by Andrew Carnegie: to recognize heroes and to support them and their dependents so that neither the hero nor their dependents suffer as a result of their selfless act.
Everyone who reads these cases wonders to themselves, why did the rescuer do it and would I have done it? And I tell people, don't be in any hurry to find out, because these are truly frightening events.
They do stay with you, and they come back to you. One of the cases that I thought was so extraordinary, a young boy who was maybe 6 or 7 fell into the river. Another boy, Alec Justin Smith, had the presence of mind. I mean, can you imagine? Had the presence of mind to run down the bank of the river, clung onto a boulder, reached out and caught this child 15 feet before the edge. They both would have been killed.
Some of the heroes and rescues that stick with me are when a very young person puts their life on the line for someone else. I think of Ashley Aldridge, who at only 19 years old, a mother of 2 young children, responded to assist an elderly gentleman who was caught in his wheelchair on the railroad track. And I think of Kira Larson, who tragically lost her life at 10 years old, rescuing a 2-year-old child from a runaway vehicle. Those cases stick with me, and I think always will.
Shortly, the Hero Fund Commission, with the support of so many friends and colleagues, will make presentation of its 10,000th and 10,001st medals. This number is but a fraction of the nominated cases, around 100,000, in the Commission's 114-year history. Despite the obstacles, the danger, the fear, the self-doubt, they did it. Very often for complete strangers. They cared enough to risk all. The Hero Fund Commission remains committed to see that they are recognized and supported, and just as importantly, that their stories are told.
Came upon a police officer on the right side. There was something wrong. There was something going on.
I saw a subject that was slumped over the wheel. I got the subject out. He snapped. And the next thing I know, he's reaching for my gun and he's about to kill me right here on the spot. Nobody knew that I was fighting on the side of the road for my life. She pulls up. You know, I get chills right now thinking about it. The next thing I remember feeling was her hand come across my hand, grabbing hold to his hand and peeling it off of my gun.
Didn't have no time to be afraid. It wasn't enough room. Just reach out. Just a minute of your time, it could make a big difference. It could save someone's life.
It was just an average day at work. I didn't know what was happening until I looked outside. I noticed a fire extinguisher on the wall, so I grabbed it. I just had this feeling of someone needed to be rescued. It's an inferno. Like, you can't, I don't understand how I'm gonna be able to do this. When I initially pulled him out and he started rolling, I was like, he's gonna be all right. He's gonna make it. Once we got him in the bay and they started working on him to try to revive him, I was able to walk in and I put my hand on his chest, and I just wanted to make sure he was okay. But at that point, he had already expired. Patrick was a hero himself, being a Purple Heart recipient. It's definitely an honor to be a part of this group. Just the legacy that it instills and that it has instilled since 1904, since it came around. There's a lot of heroes before me, and there's a lot to come after me.
And at this time, we'd like to call Carnegie Heroes Vickie Tillman and Jimmy Rhodes to receive their Carnegie Medals.
For me, an act of heroism is the ultimate recognition by one person of the equality of another. In our country, we tell people that all men are created equal. But every rescue by one of our heroes is a demonstration by action of that principle.
My great-grandfather was hugely passionate about what he felt was one of the highest callings of humanity. I just wish that he could come back and just see all the good that he has done, and it just continues. I don't think there'll ever be an end to it.
The ripple effect of one hero's actions at a single moment in time upon societies across generations has a power that cannot be overstated. Today, so far beyond his time, Andrew Carnegie's legacy inspires a stronger, wiser, and kinder civilization through the heroes we continue to honor.